Good evening, good morning, and good night. Welcome to Inappropriate Radio. It's your host, Tashana. Let's get into this. So, hi guys. I hope all is well. Welcome. Please follow us on YouTube at Inappropriate Radio TV. Alright, I just had a spiritual belch. Excuse me. Please follow us on YouTube at Inappropriate Radio TV. Okay? Oh my goodness. Did y'all just see that rain? If you are in the Northeast Corridor, particularly in North Jersey, near Manhattan somewhere, maybe Pennsylvania, the downpour, first of all, it just came out of nowhere. Okay? But the Creator just literally told me, the heavens opened up, okay? A few people just died that are important. I don't know who they are. I'm not even about to try to find out. If he wants to reveal that to me at a later date, I will share that with you guys, or you guys can do your own research and find out who was so important that the Creator had to slow-mo everything down for. If you're not aware, or even if you are, we just have to make sure we cover it and acknowledge that the rain, right, is the opening of the heavens. So when you see rain, especially in abundance like that, it's a lot, okay? It's a lot of gates and seals and levels that we have to go through, right, to get to the 10th and 11th and 12th heaven. I believe we talked about that. We didn't really go into too much detail, but you know how they say, like, there's levels to this shit? It's levels to this shit, right? The 7th heaven is where a lot of the attacks are drawn from. It's where a lot of the spying is happening. It's where a lot of our ancestors and spirit guides get to dwell and interact. It's basically that dimension that allows everything to kind of be solidified in order to make its way into this third dimension, the third heaven that we're in, okay? The 5th heaven now, the 5D, is that threshold that says, okay, I'm going to allow and accept this, okay? So the 7 is where the planning happens, and then the 5 is the determinant factor of whether it'll be approved or not, okay? Anything beyond 7 is hierarchy, highly spiritual. You have to be tapped in to understand what goes on in those dimensions. When it rains like that, all of the heavens are open, okay? You can send up a prayer. You can meditate. You can just do anything that is spiritual in a good manner. I will never encourage anyone here or anywhere for that matter to use their gifts for bad and to shame the Creator in any kind of way. I will never encourage anyone to misuse and abuse their spiritual gifts. I, for one, don't have any sort of advice for those who are using their gifts for bad. I don't have tips, okay? We don't do that here. All right, moving right along. So when you get to the 7th heaven now, and you start to see rain like that, this is the Creator's way of not only opening up the heavens for us to communicate with Him, but it's also giving us the opportunity to learn about the ethers, because they're so open, right? They're vulnerable. A lot of the demons that are sneaking out of heaven, that have fell from heaven, rather, or angels, whatever you want to call them. Some of the lower level spirits that left the, lower frequency environments are trying to make their way into number 7. A lot of people think it's 9. A lot of people think it's 10, 11, 12. Some even say it's 15. Some even say it's 26. I personally believe that 12 is a number that kind of gives us optimum, because 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 is very important to the universe. And then it looks to me as if things is like a complete quarter with the number 12. Okay. And as far as my research has shown, it's 12. Okay. The number 26 also stands out to me. That's not really like a topic for this conversation. It's kind of going to take us off topic. But just for the sake of the conversation, yeah, right? 26, whatever you believe, whatever the Creator is allowing you to understand, whatever you are led to by the Creator, you go with that, all right? I'm just going off of the things that I've learned and picked up along the way, okay? Now, moving right along. When you get to see weather that is like that, and we've talked about weather and things like that in the very beginning of the podcast, when you see weather start to act out like that and all of these different unexplained situations as it is related to weather, God is not angry. God is communicating. When God damages things for us to start over, that's exactly what it is. A new start, a fresh start, a new portal, a new energy, okay? We have to understand that we are just little spectacles in this really, really, really big old land, right? In this really big world. And we only have a level of understanding that can reach and have a depth, but so far. We don't have all of the understandings, right? Like my understanding is only going to go but so far. It doesn't matter how advanced my understanding is. That advancement is only going to go the length that the Creator will allow it to. Okay? Anything beyond that is probably going to be some made up shit. All right, let's just keep it real. Let's keep it real. You have to stay within the confines of the guidance. If you go outside of your guidance, it's probably not from God, okay? Stay in your lane. And why does that relate to this topic? Because a lot of people don't realize that we get messages from the heavens on a daily basis. And when we get like just unexplained weather, because if you looked at the weather within the last 12 hours, you didn't see any forecast foretelling you that it was going to rain. Not in this area. Okay? And that's important because that's God's way of communicating that He is in control. There are going to be things that are going to just be coming out of nowhere. And you're going to be like, what? Good or bad? Good and bad. Doesn't have to always be bad. Doesn't have to always be good. It's going to be a little bit of both. Okay? A lot of the things that we're experiencing in the ethers are going to start coming through the weather. It's going to start coming through the weather, and we have to prepare ourselves to be in an environment that is going to ensure our survival. It's going to feed our survival. It's going to aid our survival. Create an environment that will allow you to receive those blessings. When the heavens open up, guys, it's a really great thing. Everyone gets to receive a blessing when it rains, especially when we get like downpours, right? The trees get to rain. A lot of the things that are stuck in different bodies of waters, they start to get a little bit of fluid and they get to move and get released from being captured in bondage. We get a cleanse spiritually, sometimes physically. Not everybody has a home to take a shower or a bath, right? The different insects, this is allowing a system of water flow to be created in different environments, okay? And we can go on and on and on with that, but this is just a few examples so we can get the full understanding of why the rain is important, why the heavens opening up is a big deal, why it even would matter to anyone. Like, why would you care about it raining, right? If it's going to keep you from taking a trip that you wanted to, if it's going to make you pull over, while you're on your way to a meeting and make you late, right? And this is God's way of protecting you. Okay, when things come and knock you out of your path, when they are unexpected, when you didn't make room to plan, you are giving the Creator the opportunity to bless you, to surprise you, to shock you, to give you things that you didn't even know were on the way to you. You didn't know that they were in your path. Okay? We have to understand. And lately, I've been trying to make sure that I'm not overstepping my boundaries when we do these segments. I try to make sure that I'm saying what the Creator wants me to say and not what I think should be said. And I'm trying to just be a little more relaxed and understanding in the whole entire delivery, like within itself, because not everyone is a spiritual being, okay? Not everyone is going to take away what needs to be taken away from the message. And that's important, okay? So, before we end, I just wanted to make sure that you guys are realizing, especially if you just witnessed that crazy downpour, please check on your people. A lot of people get flooded, and I know that didn't really seem like that much, but that was like at least 40 minutes or so of really, really heavy rain, okay? So we don't know who was just affected. Call on your people. Take a peek out your window. Make sure nobody's stuck. Make sure you are all dry first, right? You can't help anybody if you're not helping yourself. So, okay, make sure you're checking in on people, because especially if you are in certain areas, certain parts of New Jersey, I know they flood out really, really crazy. Same for New York, same for like different parts of the country in the Northeast corridor. I'm not sure who all expected that and experienced that, but it just was totally unexpected here, and we just definitely experienced it. It was kind of mimicking like tornado rain or hurricane rain, if you will. So it's important to stay abreast. It doesn't matter what the news says. It doesn't matter what the doctor says. It doesn't matter what you think is going to happen or not happen. If you just recently looked up the weather, I'm going to say this again, within the last 12 hours, you know what just happened was really spiritual. Somebody just had to go through the gates. They had to be opened up, and they have a dense energy. And that is what happens when dense energies are transitioning, okay? We get really weird weather. It's not always rain. Most of the time it is. Like at least 75 to 85% of the time it's definitely rain, but sometimes it's not, okay? Sometimes it's just hot as hell out of nowhere. The sun will just start being crazy, right? And it also is going to vary depending on where you are geographically, right? Because not everybody's going to get rain. Not everybody's going to get sun. So it really does depend. And I've noticed that lately I've been kind of using like my deeper voice on the podcast. I'm a little bit more serious these days and not as happy-go-lucky, because this shit is not a game. We have to get ourselves in order, and I'm really freaking serious, okay? And I mean it. But all in all, before we leave, please check on people. Go outside. Look out the window. Like I said, make sure there's nobody stuck. Make sure that you could be of use if you can be. If you're in close proximity to someone who can use your help, please be of assistance, because this weather is really weird. It's unpredictable. And just like that, it's done. It just came, did its thing, and now it's gone. So I don't know if you have plants that you forgot to water or something like that. I don't know. Okay? But what I do know is that the heavens was just open, and they're still open for a few more moments. You have a little bit more time to get those prayers out while it is raining, or while after Okay. But I'm going to end it here. I do love y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed your weekend. I hope you are drinking your water, eating your fruit and vegetables, and sipping on your own tea because it's free. Love y'all. Peace.